Stop scrolling TikTok. We're back. It's night shift. I'm just kidding. You guys are all boomers watching this show. We got Jake, we got ZP, and we're ready to rock with another round of NA action. Hydra Nation finally lost their crown, and not only did they lose last week, they got 2-0'd by the Sneaky Golems. ZP, some people were saying it was just a draft win for Sneaky Golems. What did you see in that?
I mean, I think draft-wise, Hydra Nation probably learned some lessons that they are going to, acutely try not to repeat in this set of rounds. But also, the draft changes every week from region to region, so we'll see what the take is. I personally think those Sneaky Golem just came in, and not only did they have a great game plan, but they also had great mechanical skill, and that it was also very short-lived as they lose one member and decide we don't want to play this week, aside from DMB, who's with Baroness Hotels. So
yeah, let's give a shout-out to DMB. The Mirage was looking good during that first game. Let's take a look here at our challenger taking on Hydra Nation. They go by the name of Baroness Hotel. ZP made their logo. Solomon made it look nicer. John, aka Job 69 in game, is on the Lady Geist. We saw that in the previous map. Now we're going to see Ido. Will they go after his pocket? Will they let him play Mina? In the chat, he was answering questions saying, yo, I ain't joining no team. If he wins $1,000 right here, will that change his mind, Jake? You think we can get him back in the NA scene?
Probably not, but hey, it's always fun to dream. We'd love to see Ido making appearances here on, of course, our night shift tournament. But I do think for a lot of players, you just want to be streamers and grinding the game. I think things that might really change for as far as who wants to play competitively, how people want to professionalize the game, is sort of like the longer term future with Deadlock, right? If this game goes like super mainstream, tier 1 esport, gets super popular and really explodes, then I do think people might start changing their tune. But we do appreciate, of course, Baroness Hotel coming together. And honestly, I think when it comes to just like the raw skill in this team, I feel like Hydra Nation, you get off to like maybe a couple mistakes in the lane, throw a couple of kills away, this team could easily kind of run away with it. As much as Hydra Nation, they're the stronger team, and I'd give them of course the advantage, given that they're practicing together, they're scrimming. There's something to be said for the chaotic energy of a team that just got nothing to lose, that's just going to come attack you in every single lane.
Paradox is a lady. Y'all should know that by now. It's been a month. Come on, chat. Let's take a look here at the opponents. On the other side of the fight, they go by the name of Hydra Nation. Hydration, the captain of this squad. He's had a number of teammates, as they're like the Mongols. If they fight you, they will steal your best pieces and then maybe put them into use in the future. If you beat them, they're definitely going to go after your best player, because they are the top dogs in North America with $4,000 in their pocket. They're looking to make it $5,000 in 6 weeks. Who's your player to watch, ZP?
Player to watch going in, I think the player above all else, when it really comes down to it, the player that has done the impossible more often than not, still probably going to be Leffa. And the amount of times I've seen Leffa take 1v2s in lane, just getting the proper parry timing and making the impossible possible, it's a little bit wild, especially now that, part of Hydra Nation's success is that they'll usually run Leffa and Hydration in a duo lane together. Those two have incredible lane synergy, and while it's not impossible to beat them in lane, usually they win, and usually they get ahead from the lane they're duoed in. But I think a lot of that, it's not just that Hydration is good. I do think Leffa is arguably, one of the best players in NA, if not the best.
I see Goober is still hanging out in the chat. What's up, Goo Crew? Question that I saw scrolling up is the fact that Sneaky Golem isn't here because Zeno is a cheater. Jake, I know that you can identify cheaters much better than ZP can.
I see them with my mind.
Zeno has disappeared because of suspicious VAC bans that went out this week.
No, I did not VAC ban. There was like some crazy VAC update, but I honestly don't. No. Honestly, these days, like I don't even think about cheating anymore, because I'm just like, look, it's gonna happen. People are gonna do it, but it is what it is. You just gotta like play your game and do your thing. And once in a while, it's nice to see a ban wave update, but I don't know. We don't throw around crazy accusations. That's not.
Are we not allowed to just make up stories because the teams aren't ready?
Say somebody's a cheater for no reason.
Come on, Zeno plays with his feet, and he never washes them before the game. That's what I heard.
This is drama.
That's slanderous. Right, you're gonna get sued for the feet comment.
I heard it, Jake. Allegedly, he does this. Allegedly, he cheats while playing with feet. I don't know what chat's talking about, but I do know the draft is ready. Thank God production's on top of this. We got Hydra Nation at the disadvantage. The Baroness Hotel will get to choose whether they go first or second, and it looks like Hydra Nation will get the first ban. What are you taking away? What was strong last game for him, ZP?
Well, the question is, what's your fear of Pocket?
Are they
do you fear Ido? Do you
They always
ban Pocket
use the
like
ban Pocket
cowards
against him.
Do you do it? Wait, no, they fear
Mina, his other character.
Well, they could also first pick the Pocket.
I do think Mina's a better character than. Honestly, that would be so Hydra Nation. I remember when, like, a long time ago, we used to see Ido playing as Hydra Nation a lot. They would always first ban his Pocket or always first pick. They would never, ever let him get the Pocket. And so, honestly, it would be so on brand for Hydra Nation to ban the Mina and pick the Pocket. I genuinely think that's going to happen.
Moan Krill banned by the Baroness Hotel. Do they get their guy? Do they lock him in, ZP, and steal both?
Honestly, yeah. This is like the NA special of just like destroy Ido's hero pool. I mean, he still has Yamato in the back.
I feel like I'm just sure it's going to happen.
No, it didn't happen.
Okay.
The Pocket's free. He's free.
You have to see the Ido Pocket. I mean, this is like a time-honored, we need to see this player-hero combo. One of the best Pocket players easily in North America, right? So I genuinely think maybe Pocket, the downside is that it's not really the strongest hero right now. I think like just isn't, but we've seen in EU, Ken looks super good, right? Ken be top tier. And I feel like when you've got it on the team, you got to snap it up. You got to snap it up.
There we see the Pocket is in, ladies and gentlemen. Ido gets his guy as we're going to be witnessing LeBron with the ball. Is that right, ZP? Is that the meme over in Russia about our North American players?
Yeah, LeBron just got the ball. It's one of the older Deadlock memes, but it checks out. Assuming Ido is on it, because they do have like 3 different Pocket players, and they still could pick a Yamato. But Abrams Pocket, I mean, with what we know of this meta, makes perfect sense. Also, we didn't really touch on it, but I think with Mo and Krill being so highly valued right now, it's probably a better ban against Hydra Nation than you'd expect, because even when Mo wasn't being picked by most teams, Hydration was still picking a whole ton of Mo's. So
true.
You definitely don't want Hydration to play that hero when it's actually at the top of the meta.
My protection now.
Mirage is locked in here for Hydra Nation. Who plays that for him?
I think this is usually like an AVG hero or maybe Rocane, or we've even seen Lefa play it too, honestly. So it can kind of go to any of their like core farming players. I feel like it's not super committed. I think it's going to depend more on the draft. I feel like I sometimes see Mirage played as like the solo carry when you have a very heavy frontlining team. Other times I see Mirage played as more of like an off core, when you've got other farmers who are also going to be, getting pretty high net worth. Interesting to see Warden still so far ignored. I do think Warden definitely still has a place in the meta. Maybe doesn't fit as much with you already have Pocket, right? So you already have a lot of spirit damage emphasis, and maybe Yamato and Mirage pretty good at kiting Warden, so maybe not for the Baroness Hotel this game. But they're going to be pretty happy, I think, to grab Kelvin Abrams, and it also gets a little bit scary, the prospect of something like a Shiv here. I wonder if Hydra Nation want to hit that with a ban.
Hit us with a Shiv! I want to see the big man.
Shiv ban would make sense for Hydra Nation, especially if they don't want to pick it themselves. They already have like a key part of their frontline picked. I mean, they could use another frontliner in turn. GT getting banned here, also not the worst idea. GT, not seemingly as valued in NA in Prio as we were seeing in EU, where it was basically first pick, first ban status throughout most of the night. So the shift up here, kind of interesting, but we'll see Hydra Nation if they fear the Shiv coming on the other side. It still is quite good if you do the 2, and yep, they get rid of the Shiv.
The Baroness Hotel could get a really nice Lash pick here, I feel. Typically, I feel like those are, it's not really the combo with Kelvin, but the fact that you have Kelvin on your team, right? So you don't have to worry about Frozen Shelter ruining your ulti plays as Lash.
Okay.
I could see the vision there as something where, it's kind of problematic. Like Yamato doesn't really want to just ulti to avoid the Lash ult. It's something they could look towards, but they go for the Geist now. So just doubling down on high damage frontliners, someone who can go toe to toe with Yamato, right? The ulti can still help swap the Yamato, even if, she's ulted and like running over you, you can still kind of stand and fight against that.
Where's my goat? Where's Billy?
Yeah, should be, right? And it would also mitigate the threat of the Lash.
Warden.
With the Warden instead,
he got nerfed, guys. Why is Warden still getting picked?
Warden is just still good, man. He can take a nerf or two. I feel like Warden has just been S tier for so long. The ulti is such a remarkably powerful objective taking tool. Just lets you initiate and catch people, especially if you build heavy spirit. It's such a problem, for these, especially for these Kelvin drafts that want to stack up. And Hydra Nation are going to take the Lash even despite the Kelvin, maybe just not too worried about Frozen Shelter. I feel like they can play around it.
Yeah, I'm looking at Baroness Hotel by comparison. I mean, Lash should probably pick up for Lord NM. Warden, I mean, we may be going back to the good old days of the Hydration Warden when you think about Hydration's hero pool and what he may be picking on. There was a day where, or an era where he was always on Warden, but the Billy finally got to come through. And I mean, kind of frontline heavy is Baroness Hotel now, where, you know, effectively you got 3 of them between the Geist, the Billy, and the Abrams, which really leaves a hole now, the, you know, grab a 7 or even a gun Ivy
to
round
Ivy?
things out. No.
Honestly, I kind of like Ivy here with the ability to dodge the Lash ult, right? With Stoneform is like pretty reliable dodge on Lash ult. I think, the Doorman.
Doorman.
Okay.
Damage man incoming.
True.
Gun man.
It could be a gun Doorman. I don't know who. I mean, I guess Billy can be kind of played as a carry. Or Geist, or you could just say, you know, we don't need a proper carry at Baroness Hotel. We're just gonna like scrap and brawl you out. Doorman also has some pretty sick objective taking potential, like being able to do these urns. And the Page comes in kind of a sick Page game though, right? Baroness Hotel's so heavy frontlining, not that much mobility. Pocket, of course, the exception. But the rest of the team maybe trying to stand and fight in the Calvin Dome or something like that. You know, the Page ult could be a difference maker there.
ZP, do you want to tell him Page's win rate here on Night Shift?
I feel like it's low right now, or is it high? I actually don't know. I did not look.
It's got to be low. Is it 0? Is it actually 0?
What is that right now?
That's heinous.
I do Puckett stats, and yeah, that's a 0% win rate on the Page.
I feel like the problem for Page is I just haven't seen the style that makes her work. I feel like support does look better, and maybe Mirage is a nice hero to use the buff if you're going to go like heavy support Page and max your shield. Mirage can kind of sit in the back and snipe. He's not going to lose his buff, and maybe that could be really potent there. Could be similar story for Warden. Sometimes if anyone's just running away from him, they're not going to be able to break. They're not going to turn and break his barrier. And there's not too much, like aside from Pocket, right? Not too much mobility. Maybe I see the vision, but I agree with you, Pocket. I just don't think I've seen Page look that good in almost any game. I mean, it doesn't shock me that it's a 0% Page win rate. I mean, really, it doesn't.
ZP, who's got the better draft in your eyes?
When I look at this draft, on paper, I like the Baroness Hotel draft quite a bit more. I think the parts where it could get a little bit sticky for them would just be the fact that you have a Paradox on the other side, and Paradox, between the Paradox and Lash, you could make some good plays in the early and mid game. I think the actual laning for Hydra Nation is also ridiculous when you could do things like run the Mirage Yamato lane. Not that the Baroness Hotel side has like particularly awful lanes, but I think Hydra Nation, they still have kind of the setup where they can get ahead in the early game and just sort of stay ahead. But in terms of how well-rounded each comp is, I like the Baroness Hotel draft better, pure and simple.
Enjoy Stuff is excited that we got Page and Doorman. Who is the better addition to a composition? We're about to find out. It's Hydra Nation taking on the Baroness Hotel. Jake, we got a team of a bunch of top ladder players. You get to the top by working well with a bunch of randos. Can that give you an edge against playing against a squad that has been drilling as a team for the last, 3 months, 6 months?
I don't know if it's going to give you an edge, but I do think you've got to put respect on these players in the Baroness Hotel. They might not have scrimmed together. This might be a pickup team, but you know, in a game like Deadlock, you can come off to an early start and just get a kill or two on the lanes. Like the laning phase, your team synergy, your scrims, I'm not convinced they really matter, the laning phase. Like the laning phase is the laning phase at top rank pubs or in scrims. And so I think if the Baroness Hotel can do what they did last game, keep all the lanes shoved in, get some early Guardian takes, maybe you can kind of prevent Hydra Nation from getting these group up team fights where in theory they might have an edge, or maybe playing the macro game they might have an edge. However, do you survive the lanes? Because just as easily they go against you, the game you fall behind on the Baroness Hotel, and that's where I'm most worried, right? If you haven't practiced together, making a comeback happen is really, really difficult.
We've got less than 14 days left in September. Make sure you take advantage of 30% off like Reticulatus, who just dropped 6 subs on us. We are now up to 665 subs on twitch.tv/Deadlock Night Shift. If you're over on YouTube, thank you to all the new members. If you have a sub on Twitch or a membership over on YouTube, you have access to the Graveyard Shift, something that we built for the Patreons. It'll be happening on our Discord, not on these streams. It'll be happening on our Discord, so make sure to check out Twitter for that link. ZP, we've got some numbers here. Walk me through what we're witnessing. Pick ban percentage. Paradox has been lit up. Same thing with Yamato so far today, and Warden, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, Paradox in particular, I mean, she's only gone through one era of the meta where she wasn't really getting picked, and even then, I think the teams may have been a little bit silly, but she's back to her golden era of just getting first picked, first banned all the time. The one thing that's absent, though, on the screen, which is really weird given the rest of the day and how much of a high value it has had for the last several weeks, Viscus was neither picked nor banned. It was available for both teams at all points. And Hydra Nation comes in and they pick the Page over Viscus. Look, you may be cooking some of the Page, but I don't know if it's justified to pick Page over Viscus right now. So
I am a liar.
On me.
Paige officially has 2 wins in her 5 appearances, but we haven't seen her dominate a grand final for NA. Can she go 3 for 3 with a dub here to open things up against the Baroness Hotel? Or is the Doorman king? It's time to find out. On the mic, it's ZP and Jake, the former pro turned model and commentator.
There you go, Jake. Your entire resume out there for the world to hear. But, you know, one thing I'm kind of happy for here is that if we had to have a doorman in this matchup with one team named the Baroness Hotel, that the doorman is actually on the right team.
What if we just doorman ult and sit in the doorman ult together? Can you refresh your doorman ult?
You can, yeah.
And if so, do both of them go to the same place?
Yes. Also, if a Sinclair copies doorman ult, you can actually fight the other person.
You can fight
inside.
in the Baroness Hotel.
Yes.
Oh my God, that is what we need to see. That is what we need to see. The Thunderdome in the
spot.
Baroness Hotel. Yeah, it is like under the map, right?
Yeah, it's just a physical spot on the map. They don't like spawn you your own room. Like, we don't have that level of money. Like, come on, you got to share. It's like esports circa 2012. Pile on in there.
It's also Scion Kelvin is interesting here. Curious to see how he ends up building this. Hydration on the Page. Curious to see that lane. However, it's a scary one to go up against. Yeah, Page is pretty strong, but Billy Kelvin, a lot of potential aggression there.
Yeah, taking a look at lanes as it's Hydra Nation in the yellow, Baroness Hotel in the blue. And, you know, when we mention, you know, the strengths and weaknesses of both of these teams, one thing that we kind of agree on is the idea that the lane phase shouldn't be all that uneven between the two teams, but if Hydra Nation does get ahead in the laning phase, I think it does bode pretty poorly because, you know, just by virtue of being a team that's been together for a long time, you know, they're going to have more of an advantage in the mid to late game, at least in terms of team cohesion.
Yeah, when the fights get, you know, really chaotic and then you need more experience as opposed to actual just communicating every skill when there's, you know, so many items on the map, so many different cooldowns, it does, I think, play towards Hydra Nation's strength. So Baroness Hotel, I don't think they're on a clock, but they definitely want to generate some advantage. And it looks like it is going to be Ido on the Doorman. So I'm curious to see how he ends up building in particular, because Doorman's been one of those characters where there's just been all sorts of different builds being played. Like I've seen in my pubs, I've seen people do like a vortex web and try to cart you under the walkers in the mid game. I've seen a gun and like a surge of power being built as well. So really, it feels like Bob's your uncle. You do whatever you want here on the Doorman, and it's gonna look potentially good. But I want to see what Ido can show us.
I think it kind of depends on where you want your power. And to me, I think if you go more gun Doorman, you're kind of going, okay, you want to be, you know, you want your power spike to be later in the game. The fact that they're putting Doorman in middle, I think, while you can still play like a gunman in middle, it makes it a little bit more likely to me that Ido would potentially be going more the spirit build just to have like the extra oomph in middle, because not only are you going to potentially win middle off that, but it also gives you the ability to roam and mess with other lanes. And the spirit build is going to give you much more of the early power spike relative to the gun build.
We also haven't been talking much about the Paradox, and, you know, talk about like not only a strong laner, but a mid-game dominator. I feel like Paradox going first here really does speak to Hydra Nation's priority on the pick and what they think they can get from it. And I think that's also going to make the game a lot scarier for Pocket and even for some of these tankier characters, right? Even for Geist and Abrams and Billy, who like to throw their weight around and usually feel pretty confident. Well, get kind of Paradox swapped into a compromising situation, and you know, that overconfidence, I think, can quickly go against you.
Kind of interesting seeing the Hydra Nation hero pools and who plays what nowadays, because, you know, throughout most of Lord NM's career, if you were playing Lash, you would expect Lord NM to be on the Lash. But, you know, we have been seeing Lord NM play more Paradox recently, and, you know, low main for some of his previous teams would, you know, usually be on the Lash. And they, one reason or another, either is Lord NM has a better Paradox or low main has a better Lash. It, you know, panned out this way.
And the Baroness Hotel, they're going to go for that small camp in mid. Is a little risky here, right? With a full HP wave crashing on tower. But it seems like Hydra Nation just content to grab a couple boxes here, take that trade. I guess it's early enough where you don't really want to push in, put much Guardian damage down. It's just not that realistic at this phase. Yamato going very wide for the boxes, and so Lord and M just waiting to clear these minions.
Also, guys,
both teams having the similar strategy here. Slow the minion clearing, enable one of your players to get a bunch of boxes without missing lane creeps, and see that actually is turning into a pretty serious soul differential for Brocane and John. Right, they're getting a lot from that play.
This is one of those elements where once a night shift is over and you've watched the graveyard shift as one of our subs or patrons, you go back in this game and just look at the box route that John and Lomain just ran, probably mirrored on both sides, and it's likely a good one when you're in middle. I assume that players at this level, have it somewhat optimized, even if it's not its final form.
AVG's gonna have his Quicksilver reload there. Pretty big power spike in the lane. Scout happy to kind of take some of these trades. And Abrams, of course, has that tankiness to be able to heal through. But Mirage can keep putting on that pressure, and Lefa taking some risks, right? If he does get caught on this Mirage, it's one of those shares you really do not want to fall behind on, especially in the laning phase. And Abrams, a hero that can always be scary, can always turn around, maybe even when you think you have the advantage.
He's the gentle giant until he becomes the absolutely scary giant in lane, where it can actually catch you off guard by an Abrams playing safe up until the point that he decides to move in and land the charge. However, HP is just a little bit too low in this case, Jake, for that to turn into a punish.
Yeah, and the teammate just wasn't able to support in that moment, and it's a great punish from the Hydra Nation, right? Recognizing Pocket's not in the fight, not able to counter it. You still low HP in that side lane, and Doorman, nice catch there onto the Paradox. Oh, is he gonna get doored? Is he gonna door him in after the Baroness? Oh, he's in a very bad spot here. Just can't even get the movement trick out of the dodge there. And Doorman, all right, getting a bit active here in the mid lane.
The late checkout fees are brutal, but you go back to some of the speculation we had earlier on, wondering, okay, what build is Doorman gonna go? It is definitely looking like Spirit build Doorman, the enchanters into the early extra charge. A very different take than what we saw earlier today.
Oh, Calvin Dome, brutal there on the Guardian, and with the wave crashing in, Hydration, not only is not going to defend, I wonder if he's going to get out of this one alive. Has to maybe get a parry here. The Guardian ward, just enough to get him back, but that tower feels gone, man. You got Billy deep behind tower holding it. Abrams now running for his life. Scout can't escape. So, trades across the map. This left side lane here looks great for Hydra Nation, but the right side pretty being cracked open now by the Baroness Hotel.
Yeah, first Guardian gonna go the way of Baroness Hotel. The in-your-face double parry as neither side throws a punch, but not the worst here for Baroness Hotel. The right side lane, the Kelvin Billy, maybe a new take on your Kelvin Shiv-esque lanes. A lot of the concepts as to why a Kelvin Shiv would work, honestly, Jake, would also apply to a Kelvin Billy.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of Billy potential in that lane. Dive in. Onto the guy. She has swapped, though. You got to be careful. Yeah, you don't want to chase around those corners, especially with Doorman. So much trickery here at play. And also, effectively, it's a baited Yamato ulti. I wonder if guys can get in range for a swap without getting popped, though. Yamato and Paradox both able to finish her off at range.
Also, kind of bad timing to use that there, too, because for Baroness Hotel, they're going to get a little bit more aggressive in middle here in a moment. Ido has a Hotel Guest coming right back up, and this is about the time where you want to go in, you want to extend the invite, and once more, as if on cue here, Jake, it goes to Lord M, who quickly looks for the key card and tries to break down to the lobby.
He's out, but doesn't have much stamina left. Is going to get followed up on. Yeah, Ido is ready for that punish coming out of the ulti. However, the cost of deploying resources to the mid lane for the Baroness Hotel is going to be Hydra Nation starting to crack open the side lane. They would love to open this Guardian, let Lefa just free farm the side lane and allow Lomain to roam. He already has that Majestic Leap online, so he definitely wants to get into fights, especially with ulti on cooldown. But by the same token, the Baroness Hotel aren't giving it up too easily.
With how Ido is building it here right now, I think the dangerous thing for Hydra Nation is if they end up losing mid anytime soon. I mean, they're able to get their first Guardian, at the very least, here onto the left, apply a little bit more pressure here on to do who's forced to retreat. But if they lose middle, the way Ido's playing it, I think Ido is just going to play Doorman in a similar way to how you would play a Holiday of just, when ult is up, roam around the map and find someone to ult, pretty much.
Yeah, and I mean, if you get players to follow up, right, even if people do check out of the hotel early and take not much damage, right, it allows your whole team just set up, get a full surround on somebody, and they're just in a world of hurt, even though they do come out of the hotel. Hydra Nation, though, despite some of those kills in mid, onto Lord of Nem's Paradox, he kept the tower pretty healthy. Guardian still very stable in mid. Diving a Yamato, not really the fight you typically want.
Yeah, the best way to describe middle right now has been stable. Cart going to be a bit off track. The bell, a parting gift. Overall, though, Arcane not really too hurt by this, but here's the real danger is that you force Yamato out a bit. You drop another bell. Now Yamato's pretty damaged. Frozen shelter. Gonna get
He's
dropped.
hit all these parries. Still in trouble on Yamato, right? Super low. The Guardian Ward is pretty big. The damage is enough, though. John. Those Siphon Souls. But they have the door. They can get out if they need to. It's kind of a sick position. You can't really chase her into this Geist. Doorman's just going to slip away.
Yeah, I mean, you just get extra options here with the door. However, you look at the level of priority and just sending people over to rotate the defend mid of Guardian. The problem is it's just a little bit too low. Finally goes down. And now I'm curious to see here, Jake, how the allocation of resources goes. Do we see Ido start to roam here? Death Slam, that's one way to get you off a jump pad. And do in a lot of danger. Flying strike over and in pocket. You're kind of survivable, but you're not getting out of that one. Just ripped out of the sky.
Yeah, and tons of barriers were okay. It is really invested in his survivability on Yamato. Knows that he's going to have to tank a lot of these fights. Tank a lot of aggression. Lomain, meanwhile, though, sole lead here for Hydra Nation, able to get active. But trading with the Kelvin is not really the target you want to find. He's going to be happy to just heal that damage back up. And Lash just happy to rip the nukes and fall off the play.
All right, so as the dust is clearing a little bit, you look at the game state here, 46K, the 49K, and Baroness Hotel, you know, kind of as expected here, Jake, able to make this very close off the laning phase. But as we enter the next stage of the game, as the 10-minute mark hits, we get another round of buffs, and earn play comes in to motion. This is where Hydra Nation could create more of a gap.
Is that a double buff pickup for the Baroness Hotel? I think that is for them. So that's a really nice find here at the opening of this mid-game moment. Baroness Hotel still has a couple towers, quite healthy. Calvin's going to get the urn and get out of dodge, although hold on, yeah, maybe bit off more than he could chew. Tried to get greedy. He is going to drop, but it's turning in now to a big team fight. Baroness Hotel don't want to give up that urn control for free.
Jump transformation in here from Arcane. Still looking plenty healthy. Looking at her final targets and going to get Scout at a bare minimum. Do, though. Finds AVG in the trade, so it's not completely bloodless here for Hydra Nation. But it is Lord NM with urn control. So we'll see how heavily Baroness Hotel look to contest this. They have two over on the right-hand side between the Billy and the Pocket. See if they have some others rotating over as Ido deep into left lane right now on the Doorman. May just be focusing efforts into left to get one of those final Guardians down.
Yeah, and it's pretty scary to go for the urn turn in with somebody like Pocket with Affliction, right? It's a team fight that could be a problem. Warden ult, though, maybe he's going to give Hydra Nation the confidence to force it here, especially with Lomain potentially able to come in and deploy the Lash ult. And yeah, Baroness Hotel, hold on. I don't know if they're going to be able to stand toe. Warden ulti just creating space, getting that urn turn in. And it costs you a couple ultimates, but in the end, I think you're going to be happy to secure that urn, equalize the soul advantage. And now the Baroness Hotel. Maybe they have a bit of lane pressure. Maybe they're going to get at least a side Guardian as a trade.
Well, the downside the running Warden if it's Spirit War, if we could get a view at AVG here, is that you do use the ult to create space, which is what it's good at to get you urns and where you're at there. The problem is that when you do go like deep into the Spirit Warden build, you do have this window of time where Baroness Hotel is really incentivized to fight while Warden is basically half a character. So I'm curious to see what build AVG went in this instance, because you know, if Baroness Hotel is aware of that, there is just this window here where they can be a little bit more aggro.
I'm kind of hoping that he went like a gun build. I do think that like all-inning the ulti is a little scary against Doorman. You know, you can just always get Doorman ulted and you're just going to lose the vast majority of the value from your ulti at pretty much any stage in the game. So, you know, I like to see the Wardens maybe hedge their bets a little bit. And speaking of hedging your bets, man, Hydra Nation were still able to make that defense of the left side Guardian. I thought for sure there'd be a trade. Baroness would grab that in exchange for losing the urn turn in, but Hydra Nation so far having their cake and eating it too.
He's full ult. AVG right now, very fearsome with Last Stand, not fearsome otherwise. I mean, Cultist kind of gives you a bit of all worlds, but part of the
He
reason why you
hasn't-
go this year is just the
He
range.
hasn't maxed ult yet, right? He's just. I mean, to me, this can still be like a flask build. Like he might max flask first. I'm not sure. I think
It's more spirit based, but yeah, I think you're right. I don't see any points in ult, so it's a slightly different approach.
like some of the early spirit items I think are still nice, regardless of whether you're gonna commit points. Like the Warden ulti is good even if you don't put any points into it, and something like the Arcane Surge is still gonna be really value, even if you end up going to a gun build. Because I feel like there's no Warden build where you don't want to have any spirit damage. You can build into the Merc Mag late game, even if you're a gun build. Yamato starting this fight onto the Kelvin. Baroness Hotel kiting back well. I think Yamato is in trouble here. Yeah, has to Shadow Transform, but just getting absolutely burned down. Way too many players here for that fight.
Brocane misjudged how many were there. There's no other way where it's the flying strike of shame where you just wonder, why did I hit that button? Why did I go in here? Just, that brief moment of regret. So quick pickup from Baroness Hotel. Still remarkably even across the board here. Both teams with 3 Guardians. Both teams walkers pretty good, and small lead for the Baroness Hotel here so far.
Yeah, I mean the fact that they have some very healthy Guardians, they're really doing a great job with the macro game.
Mid Guardian is still actually up for Baroness Hotel.
Yeah, and the right side one, and they're almost full Paradox. What the? Okay, no, Billy did catch Billy. I thought he was like going the other way there. I was getting a little tripped. Kelvin zoning away for now, still tanky. Billy's gonna rip the ult, pocket ult, big connection with the Affliction.
Now seeing Billy and Yamal a little bit of melee fisticuffs. DMB getting a little bit low, but actually hanging in here for a long period of time, stalling out Rocane. And finally, Billy's going to go down, but DMB staying alive long enough that I'm not sure Rokane's going to get out of here with his life. The Arctic Beam over and in. Last little bit of melee, and man, oh man, a great fight on the whole for Baroness Hotel.
Lashal comes in on the Geist, but it's just defensive, right? Just trying to keep John off his back, and Lomain's just running away. Warden had ulti there, but he was pushing a sideline. He wasn't really able to contribute to that fight at all. And as the dust settles, that's a really strong fight for the Baroness Hotel. They're able to play a lot of ultimates, get a big trade. Even Abrams, though, hold on. This could be the pickup you were hoping for. Lash going very deep for this one. Do you really want to dive the Walker, Lash? It's getting scary. Okay, Scout does go down. Will there be a punish, though? Erna's being run. Billy's on top of you. You're running low on skills here. Yeah, getting Doorman to death. The lockdown is good from Ido.
I feel like there's not a whole lot of things in this game funnier than just seeing the luggage cart being part of the combo that takes you down. It just, there's something just lacking dignity about it as your trip back to spawn.
I think there's been a mistake.
Hard-earned turn in, though. Scary if you're going to commit for it. That would be a sign of the times, definitely. Big pocket ulti connects in, and Hydration running for the hills. Page has nothing here, just has to kite away. I'm not sure he's going to be able to escape this. Just needs one bullet to finish him off. DMB has it. Lord M also 1 HP. Big catches Baroness Hotel. This game's been blown out of the water. Billy has to hold his own now. Needs a bit of time to bring support into this. It won't be coming just yet. That's the Warden ult. Now I wonder to the Baroness Hotel, do they want to recommit to this? Ulti's down. I feel like this is a scary moment for Hydra Nation.
Hydra Nation does not want to fight here. So I think if you're Baroness Hotel and you see the opportunity in the fight, you take it while you have Shadow Transformation, Last Stand, and Death Slam all down. Like, you actually have a pretty nice window to be a little more aggressive once DMB comes back into the fray. But, for now, you look where Hydra Nation is positioning. They're not looking to invade at all, staying on their side of the map, but time to take a trip to the Baroness, Lomain. And as Lomain gets out, the welcoming party, you gotta imagine, is gonna be severe.
He teleports, but the knockdown is good on his head. Slipped away for the moment. Is it enough? Lash seemed to have played his way out of this one. Some fancy footwork there from Lomain. Hydra Nation now bringing the numbers. Baroness Hotel wisely electing to back off of that one.
Pretty nice captivating read also by Hydration, where the targeting for that, when you start dealing with different elevations, landing that there under pressure where if it doesn't land, it's probably to Lomain's death. Not the easiest thing in the world.
I mean, as we just take a step back and think about the state of the game, I feel like the Baroness Hotel are doing about as well as could possibly be expected. Hydra Nation firmly behind in this game. I feel like you'd think that, if you were just took away the team names, you took away the player names, and you're asking us, who's better prepared for this match, who has better team play, I don't think it would be that decisive in favor of the Hydra Nation, which was supposed to be their edge here. I feel like they came into this week probably thinking, hey, Pug team, this is just an easy cash in for us. Right now, the Baroness Hotel are on the verge of taking game one. I think like one big fight goes against you in Hydra Nation. You could lose mid boss. Your macro is already starting to slip behind. So it's kind of a scary spot for Hydra Nation to take this pause and really think about the spot they find themselves in.
Also, can we reflect on the tips that Ido's been getting? I mean, the game's been good. If you're a doorman at the Baroness, 20k souls, and even going more the spirit build, which in theory like falls off a little bit into later game, and you don't necessarily want to grab as much farm. I mean, Ido's been making it work and has been staying kind of rich the whole way through. So not just something that was good for the early game here thus far.
I feel like Paige is struggling in this game. I just feel like we just haven't seen Paige get much impact at all. Like a couple of those captivating reads, right? Something, but not.
Never saw that coming, Jake.
Kelvin. Bucket's the #1 Paige hater, and I respect it. Honestly, I respect it. I thought maybe this game is good for Paige, but it's just not coming together.
We need the game crossover and see like who Puckett hates more if you have both Paige and Mantis in the same game. Like Puckett's brain may explode, but right now, mid boss being grabbed here by Baroness Hotel. They said we want to go for it, and challenging this could be risky. Even if you do get people down, Ido's going to be around here, has the luggage cart ready to send people away, and here we go. The Page ult comes on in. It's enough to give Lord an M1 charge. Baroness Hotel gonna grab the other two. The frozen shelter down. The team fight already in play. 2 charges already consumed. Baroness Hotel though may be able to take the greater fight off the end of the charges. It's a little bit messy here, Jake, but the frozen shelter and fall through lets Baroness Hotel get the better of it.
The frozen shelter was absolutely massive. That was so insanely risky from Baroness Hotel. I can't believe they got 2 charges there of the rejuve with all of the old stumped in from Hydra Nation. I thought for sure, maybe they get 1 more rejuve there, and that's a very different fight. But instead, a lot of these Baroness Hotel players escape on low HP. All the opponents are dead. Despite being low, you're gonna be able to get a basically free clear on the mid walker. I think, hold on, it's still a little bit tanky. Spawners coming in, but it just feels like too little too late. Hydra Nation gonna come in and try and get some kind of a contest touch here. Lash gets a big nuke off.
Walker?
Wait, what?
It's still alive.
Oh my God, it's on like 1 HP. It's that's actually just gonna get flanked and destroyed from the fog. It's actually 1 HP.
Yeah, I mean, the tiniest of bullets is gonna knock that thing over. I don't think I've ever seen a Walker in either my own games or pro games live with that amount of HP. That's kind of ridiculous.
It's a save for the moment, but I feel like at that little HP, you're just not going to be able to defend. I mean, at some point, Pocket is just going to come in and burst it down. And speaking of Pocket, man, Do is on a pretty big game. Do and Ido both very farmed right now. And that's a problem for these Hydra Nation players, right? Like, someone like Warden, it's going to be a little bit of a scary game for Warden to carry with Doorman and Pocket able to kite away from you. Lash was getting in there trying to get aggressive on this mid Guardian or Hydra Nation, but getting potentially punished for it. I mean, I like the idea of pressuring the mid wave here, trying to use that offense to function as a defense of your mid walker. Warden ulti deployed. Something, but I don't know if it's enough. Baroness Hotel, they want this fight, and there's a lot of very low players on Hydra Nation.
Death Slam, not really the greatest odds towards Baroness. Page goes for a ride into the guardrail. Read those books, says Doorman, as the cart was actually empty of books there, Jake, but full of Page.
1 shot from Pocket is enough to drop that mid walker. You do have the earn pickup for Hydra Nation, but there's no way they're going to be able to turn this one in, not easily, especially with the wave crashing against them. I wonder if the Baroness Hotel aren't about to just pick up that right side walker and continue to put the squeeze on a Hydra Nation team that is already very far back in the map, right? No ability to put pressure on. The macro much better right now from Baroness Hotel.
Right side walker is the place to be for Baroness Hotel too, because not only do they get it, but it also gets them in a good position to not give up what could be a reasonable catch-up earn for Hydra Nation. And also for Hydra Nation, you have to kind of hold on to this earn for a while, because especially down souls, you're not fighting until AVG is ready the last stand, which is still going to be about like 20 seconds from now.
Yeah, and I like this baiting the earn drop. I mean, there's a world where Hydra Nation takes a gamble and tries to do this, but regardless of whether they attempt it or not, I mean, they've got to do something. You're just holding on to this urn. Pockets across the map, but there's 2 Hydra Nation players defending the left side walkers. There's no way they can get an urn turn, and they are down numbers here, but they're going to go for it. This is a big risk. Using the Warden ulti, though, maybe that's enough.
They go for it. Frozen Shelter, though, gonna come on down. Page ult in turn. But overall, Baroness Hotel looking remarkably healthy right after the Page ult, still in a really good spot. You see Billy kiting back, DMB taking a bit of aggro, now rotating back out of the danger zone. Yamato chasing on down. Rokane, though, again, has kind of gotten hit multiple times, going for the chase down and instead getting nothing. This time, getting the full expense paid trip into the Baroness. Half HP coming out, has to use Shao transformation on exit. Flying strike up over enemies all around. Nothing but a sea of blue here for Rokane. And Baroness Hotel swarming near the urn. Gotta take down Rokane. They lose John in the process, but that's it so far.
I mean, the chaotic trades look almost good enough for Baroness Hotel, but so many of these players escape on ultra low HP, and they get all the cleanups Lash ult. Surely that's enough to take down this Billy. He's trying to play his way out of this, but the follow-up is good to hold on. Oh my, the heals are good, and even Billy gets out on 1 HP. Okay, Lash, still healthy. Low main, the one man left standing here trying to just delay this, but Do has already cleaned up the rest of your team, and with the players dead, I don't think you're going to be taking much in the way of buildings, but you could definitely clear a lot of the jungle right now as the Baroness Hotel and just continue to expand your lead, which, by the way, already 30k souls, right? Already looking pretty scary just in a raw stats perspective for Hydra Nation.
Hydra Nation, the win conditions for them coming back in here, Jake, I mean, they're narrowing fight after fight. And you think about where they would like to be right now. You'd want Rokane and Lefa to be really ahead of the game on your Yamato and Mirage respectively. That's not the case. Instead, you're actually getting bullied by DMB, who, by the way, I think has been playing a ridiculous game on the Billy. Even in fights where DMB has been dying, the amount of aggro DMB has been holding, the amount of attention he's been getting on the Billy, I think is a huge reason as to why Baroness Hotel has been able to swing so many of these fights into their favor.
Yeah, and Geist cruising towards her next 6k. Spellbreaker online for Billy. It's going to make a lot of these burst damage threats from Yamato and Lash a lot less effective. And I mean, you're just strong this game, right? The debuff resist, the raw spirit resist. In general, I think Hydra Nation maybe a little spirit heavy too, which is allowing some efficient builds. Doorman defending his own walker. Are you really going to push him to a Doorman, right? He can kind of create that numbers advantage in this fight. He has Majestic Leap as well. And now he wants to get a chase down potentially. We got a couple players coming in trying to collapse. This could turn into a crucial team fight. Mid-boss spawning in 30 seconds, so you've got to be really smart about what fight you take here. A bad fight for either team. I mean, a bad fight for the Baroness Hotel could equalize the game. A bad fight for Hydra Nation, and this one could be over.
Baroness Hotel absolutely on match point within the game itself. Not too many fights. They need the win to put this one away. Also, we didn't really touch on Ido's build, but a little bit more utility-based, but okay, DMB. A little bit of fight here towards Rokane. Try the Force Atlas
Warden ulti used?
Doesn't quite get it. Yeah, Warden ulti did just get used. So last stand, where again, AVG very heavy into the ult side of things.
Oh, Affliction.
Now the ult about to go to the wayside. AVG still in danger, taken on down. The Chain Gang making sure of that. DMB able to walk forward. And you got a dead Warden and up mid boss. I think you just go mid here.
Yeah, it's Lash ult is just the only thing that you have for Hydra Nation to make this contest. I don't think you can even win this fight, even if you do snatch a bunch of the rejubes. But damned if you do, damned if you don't. I think Hydra Nation, maybe they just need to gamble. At this point, the game has firmly slipped away from them. Baroness Hotel looking to get that fight off as early as possible. Silence X is good. Connection is nice. The Lash ult pulls them away, but they've already stolen 2 of the rejubes.
2 rejubes the way of Hydra Nation. 1 already burned. Baroness Hotel with the other 2. Frozen Shelter going to be dropped. Same as we saw last night, Frozen Shelter really slowing down the fight, and now Baroness Hotel going to the attack. Kelvin, Arctic Beam on the chase down. Hydration just wondering, how in the world did you get there? 4 players and Page in the sewer. Page going right back to spawn there. Absolutely brutal beatdown coming in from Baroness Hotel. And Yamato just in space and time.
She's in a bad place, in the wrong side of town right here for Yamato. Just getting absolutely smoked. And the Baroness Hotel, they only get 2 rejubes, but they don't lose a single one. And the fight is not close, right? Yes, you get a couple snatches here, but the macro is abysmal. All the waves crashing against you here into your base. Pocket just diving the throne here, grabbing some snacks. And honestly, this just could be game. I wonder if you just stick around as the Baroness Hotel, because there's no lash ult, right? That's a key tool. You don't have to worry about no page ult either.
I gotta say, Doorman, if Doorman were to fit into any other property, actually would be a perfect character in Jujutsu Kaisen, because that entire anime was seemingly was based around people getting jumped 1-on-2, and I feel like half the times you actually get hit the Doorman ult, you just come out to a whooping. Like, you just had 3 people jumping you, absolutely no fairness to it whatsoever. And that last one, I mean, God, that was the old 5-on-1 beatdown.
Yeah, just coming out of the doorman. At that point, just stand still in the doorman and hide in the Baroness Hotel for as long as your reservation lasts.
I don't want to check out. I'll
check the squatting laws in New York. I'm never leaving. I'm just going to stay here the rest of the game. You can't hurt me in the Baroness Hotel.
I need this to work.
Help me deliver this thing.
Kind of has a John Wick thing going on there, where it just, no business will be conducted on Baroness grounds. Oh,
I mean, yeah, you can't even challenge this earn turn in. This is when you know the game's out of hand firmly, right? When you've got ultis online, but you just can't come challenge the earn. Fighting in this location, way too risky. Macro still being controlled really nicely by the Baroness Hotel. A couple waves crashing against you, but Ido starting to fix those. And crucially, they're keeping mid-wave pressured, which means if they ever do find pickouts, if they ever start a team fight, all they need is one wave getting into the base to finish this one off.
Also, I mean, Hydra Nation, they've made a few comebacks here and there, but even if it was buff enjoyers on the other side, the comeback kings of Deadlock, I don't know about the odds of bringing this one back. You need a lot to go your way. You probably need Ido to get disconnected. It's, you start going to the realm of, if I pray really hard for a meteor that hit the internet of my opponents, will that happen? That's sort of the scenario you're looking at for a comeback at the moment.
I don't think you're winning this one 5v6. As you can see, look at Scout, just full confidence here, just walking into the base. Anyone gets caught outside and they are in a world of hurt. Phantom Strike almost there. Okay, quite yet. The silence is good. They're delaying the inevitable here. Warden ulti thrown out, but I don't even know if you need to respect this Warden ulti. The Patron's going down. They're just diving the throne. Big affliction, and this one is all over. Baroness Hotel up 1-0. Hydra Nation, they were the defending champion. They're a team that's won over and over again, and they're just down 0-1 to a pug team here. Scary spot here, ZP.
Uh-oh, Z-Pizzle, is there something broken with Hydra Nation, or is the doorman just too strong tonight?
I mean, look, I think Ido came in and his hours upon hours of grinding Doorman on stream, which you can check out at twitch.tv/Ido. He actually got the Ido Twitch account. You can look at it there. He's been on the Doorman grind, and clearly it's paid off. Not just his pocket in Yamato nowadays, also the Doorman checking in. And look, I think this was really scary for Hydra Nation. Obviously, Baroness Hotel, they're chock full of mechanical talent. And also, how do you prep for a team that doesn't even know what they're going to run going into this? This team was made 2 days before the tournament.
They're having fun so far, Jake, and it's easy to do so when you're up. At this point in the game, we're 5 minutes deep. They're tied on souls. Did Baroness Hotel have any kind of advantage?
I think it's just the gameplay, right? They executed so nicely. They get a couple players on some strong comfort picks, and I do feel like the Doorman looked amazing this game. I mean, Doorman's been one of those extremely polarizing heroes where we've seen it completely fail and fall flat. We've seen teams completely ignore it for weeks on end, just thinking it's just not good enough. It doesn't work. However, some teams we've seen execute on it and make it look completely broken. And so I think that dichotomy speaks to the really what's exciting about Deadlock right now is there's always that new build on the horizon. There's always that new strategy for these teams to discover. And hey, some of these top players, maybe they don't need to scrim. If they're just on a comfort hero, they know the game well enough. Questioning some of the advantage that Hydra Nation should have had in the series.
ZP, as we take a look at some of the highlights, a quick reminder, Paige now drops from having a 40% win rate to 33% win rate. She's done for the night, right?
I would think so. I mean, with Hydra Nation potentially facing elimination off the throne once again, and this time not to a team that's doing scrimming, but a team that got thrown together last minute. There's an element of pride here, even beyond the we don't want to lose the series, we don't want to lose $1,000. I think Hydra Nation is going to play things a little bit more by the books going forward here. And again, I do think back to the draft and think about conventional meta-analysis of what's good in Deadlock at the moment, and where Hydra Nation picked the page, they could have went for the Viscous, and I think the Viscous would have done a lot better for them in this game than the page, given the two options.
Ido, welcome back. Welcome to the chat. Enjoy your highlights, my guy. The Baroness Hotel taking game number 1. Final thoughts on this one, Jake?
just really clean execution, especially from the mid game on. We thought maybe Hydra Nation would have the edge. They scrimmed together, they worked together, but no mistakes. Very few from the Baroness Hotel. Very clean. And like Warden ultis kited left, right, and center. Same for the Yamato ultis. They're just playing really good Deadlock right now.
Doorman creates player advantage. Kelvin creates player advantage. Paige isn't a real character. This was a 5v6 all along. Ananagon! I couldn't agree more. With that said, we're going to go to a break. I believe we're going into a game number 2. Can Hydra Nation force a tiebreaker? Or is this going to be another hot 2-0 upset? Jake, it's crazy in North America.
Absolutely, just the way we like it.
Solomon, break time. Be right back. What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the night shift. We're jumping into map number 2, and there's a bit of a surprise at the top of the leaderboard. Returning champions Hydra Nation, after 4 weeks at the top, crumbled last week in a 2-0 defeat. Now they're down 0-1, and they only got half the kills. You look at the difference in souls, a huge win for the Baroness Hotel. Total dominance at the end of game number 1. But the draft can change everything, right, Jake? As you look at the numbers on this board, though, what's the story?
I think the story is back to the drawing board for Hydra Nation. All the prep, all the scrims coming to nothing here, in the Pug team up 1-0. Big performances. I mean, Pocket, of course, huge from Do. 1 death on Pocket, 1 death on Ido on Doorman. So just the playmakers kind of dancing with you. And then Saya also really strong game in the Kelvin, the support Kelvin. Who knew?
During the break, we watched a lot of highlights that include a lot of Bebop hooks. Are we going to see Bebop in this next game for NA, ZP?
Look, Bebop would be a good shout. Obviously, Bebop looked phenomenal from Sneaky Golem last week, where Goober just did unholy things on the character, and nothing has changed since then. I think the one thing that does need to change, though, for Hydra Nation was I got to look at the stat screen and just got to wonder, where did things go wrong? I don't think you really want to give up both Billy and Abrams in the same draft. I think that was a terrible mistake for Hydra Nation, and I think their weakness of their front line actually came back to bite them pretty darn hard. I mean, you could debate how effective the Page was, but I think going earlier in the draft, I think you probably need to get one of those 2 characters, pure and simple.
Jake, is 13,000 damage in 30 minutes enough?
No, but I mean, Theory Paige doesn't really need to do that much damage. She's more like giving people barriers is really like her sort of shtick, and locking people down. But it just felt like there were too many fights where the Page is just unable to really play the game, unable to really get into the engagement. I think you want to have maybe a stronger laning phase with the Page. The Warden just wasn't really doing it in terms of like forcing those early trades. I'm skeptical about the hero at this level.
If hydration can't make her work, no one can make her work. That is my belief. It might be wrong, because I'm sure there's a Page 1 trick who's really good in Europe. We're going to be jumping into the second game. Hydra Nation no longer at a disadvantage. They get to choose whether they want to be Team 1 or Team 2 and ban first or second. ZP, what are the dangerous heroes? We heard Europe talking about Gun Ivy. That didn't seem to be a threat until late in the pick process.
Yeah, I mean, NA just isn't valuing it as highly, and I do wonder if, in addition to changing up their draft strategy, they'll probably get either a Billy or an Abrams from Hydra Nation, how much they do go for the target the hero pool of the enemy team. NA, famously more than EU, is big on the, oh, you're good at this hero, we want to take it away. And Ido, famously now, has been very much grinding the Doorman. It is going to be a statement from Hydra Nation if they come in with the first ban and they take out the Doorman.
Is the Doorman gone? I don't think so.
We're just keep running it at the Mina ban. Oh, they're going to take away the Paradox. Okay, so they don't want to go with maybe they want to get a Mo here, but I feel like Baroness probably will also ban the Mo. That's what they did last game. And the same draft position, by the way. Hydra Nation don't want to take a draft position swap, but they are just changing their ban strategy since they opened with the Paradox pick last time.
I think they open Abrams. If given first pick and the Mo is taken down, so Mo's out, I feel like you go Abrams, just to ensure that you have a top tier frontliner. I mean, there's other options to go with too, but to me, when I look at the last draft, I think by far the biggest part where they got just absolutely rolled on was, securing the front line.
The big guy with the tail.
It does give you Ship Kelvin, though, if you don't take either of those, maybe it's not the end of the world, but okay, they're going to take the Kelvin, I think, to maybe block that, which I feel like puts Baroness in a weird spot. They may need to take the Ship here, and to be fair, they did it in the Challenger match, right? In this sort of a similar spot. where they were up against a Kelvin pick and they took a counter Shiv pick to steal it away. I expect to see Shiv go first too, just for that. And I feel like that has already kind of put Baroness in the corner. If they do take Shiv here, it's like, doesn't feel good to take Shiv this early in the draft. However, Shiv pocket is nice. You take away one of the stronger counters.
Ido isn't going to play pocket, right? We're not going to get.
Nobody knows yet, right? Like he and the team can always change draft wise. If they want to put Do and Scout on something else, they could put Ido on the pocket. But Ido's flexible these days.
I actually think you pick Billy, and they go Abrams. So
they value
this
more.
Is interesting because you can go Kelvin Shiv, you could go Kelvin Billy, which is
Shiv
also
Billy,
really good.
Get both.
Yeah, or you could go just straight up both and secure them. I think DMB on the Billy was a massive pain for Hydra Nation in the last game, and I mean we saw the amount of times he was able to just take Rokane out of a fight just by drawing Rokane's aggro for so incredibly long. But the Shiv has come in, so they secure the Kelvin Shiv lane, and if they grab the Billy on top, I would actually love it.
Show us your goat, Hydra Nation.
Yeah, I do think that's a really strong first three. It's super scary to team fight into. The Billy ult deals with all sorts of potential future mobility picks. And then, inside the Kelvin Dome, man, Shiv plus Billy, that is just painful fight to be taken. They probably Geist over it, which we have seen Geist, I think, on a bit of an upswing resurgence in the last few weeks, especially in North America. This does let Baroness take the Billy, but there's something you said against Billy where you're like, if our front line is just so beefy and high damage, like ult us in, pull us in, Billy, like we'll just take the fight against you.
So if Billy brings everyone to the same gunfight where Shiv can mop them up, what does Lady Geist do with her ultimate, ZP?
I mean, Geist can just play in the front line, and if you ever focus Geist, guess what? She's got to go for a swap. She's one of the characters that can really push limits, especially when you're looking to get like extra lane push towards a Walker in the late game. Like taking 1v2 against Geist is always like kind of is this a great idea? She just kind of has this aura of like, keeping people back. But the GT ban comes in, and the ban coming out here from Hydra Nation will be interesting. I mean, if they're not going to play it themselves, I would like to see them get rid of the Billy here, then not go against the Abrams Billy again. It's interesting they haven't valued that as highly, but I don't know if they're going to be able to get away with Baroness Hotel getting both again here if they don't ban it now. And they just get rid of the Doorman. They say, Ido, absolutely no way.
This is interesting though, but like, do we really think Doorman's better than Mina, right? Remember last game, Mina was first banned, and I feel like the Baroness Hotel are just going to be like, yeah, you can ban Doorman, we're just going to go Mina. Ido's going to be just as effective, and honestly, maybe more so. I do think Mina's a better character than Doorman, especially a little bit earlier on in the draft. They go Mirage. I wonder if they might give up the Mina here entirely. Maybe there's not valuing it, maybe they really want to get like one of their key farming cores online for the Baroness Hotel since they don't really have any yet.
ZP, do you eat spaghetti with your hands?
Absolutely not. You got a fork and a knife. You act a little bit dignified with it. You make sure it's a real spaghetti.
You just drink it. Like put the bowl to your face and just
This guy Chef Boyardee. He knows what's up. Mirage is in. Yamato is in. I feel like she has been in almost all of our games tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Yamato's good, especially when you shore up your front line. Again, I mean, it's probably going to be Rokane on it once more. This time around, they have the Kelvin on their side, so they don't have to worry about a Kelvin Dome just ruining their life off in mid lane. And they're going to back it up here again with the Lash. So, I mean, Hydra Nation valuing a lot of the same things that they did previously. Big change-ups here just being getting the Kelvin and Geist in on their side, which I mean, kind of makes sense. I mean, you think about things that ruin a Yamato's day. Getting swapped by a Geist is absolutely one of those things, and a Kelvin Dome is one of those things. So the amount of freedom I think Rokane is going to have in this game is going to be significantly more, even if there's still, say, a Billy that comes in as like the final pick on the other side.
Cute Latchley, thank you very much for the sub, getting us off 666. I was getting uncomfortable because that number had sat there for over an hour. We're at 667 subs after that use of a Prime. Make use of your Prime as we lock in the final players. There's the Bebop. The hooks are coming.
Good Bebop game, right? Natural, strong response to the Lash. And the Victor comes in. Okay, didn't have Victor on my bingo card today, but I kind of like it. I mean, the only scary thing, though,
we're going to do a game
Shiv execute. That's... Now that I think about it, how do you not get executed by Shiv on Victor? Sort of scary. It feels like, I mean, maybe you just tank it. Shiv doesn't get the reset if you kill the Victor on his ulti, right? Is that correct?
Do we have any Victor mains in the chat? We've got so many questions for you right now. One of the new characters that we've only seen, 3 times in competitive play? I believe he's 1-1.
we went a little bit silly at the end of the draft here. I actually was not expecting the Victor Drifter finish. Billy ignored at the very end, despite all the, priority it's had at elsewheres of the day. And I mean, for Hydra Nation, okay, you stop and think about it. I think it was Lord NM that was playing Drifter last week. It's something they like playing. Whether or not it was like as effective as it could be, I think there was still a little bit of growing pains when you think about, the famous Bebop versus Drifter end to the game. But a week also can change your comfortability on some of these characters too. So maybe Drifter this week will be the secret weapon.
Jake, imagine you're in a hotel room. It's 2 queen beds. But you have to choose between Drifter, Victor, and ZP as your roommate. Who do you go with?
Yeah, I'm gonna say ZP, man. That would be messed up if I said anything but ZP, man. I'm not gonna throw my man under the bus. Drifter's a literal vampire. Victor's like an undead monster. I'm not. That's fucked up.
ZP, you made the cut, my guy. Welcome to Jake's room. We got the penthouse ready. This game is moments away. Will we see a Game 3 in North America, or is it another 2-0 beatdown of Hydra Nation? You're watching the night shift. We're going off the rails, but these guys are in charge now. My job's done. The map is loading up. Z-Pizzle, give me players to watch on both sides.
I mean, I think for Hydra Nation, you gotta watch Lord NM. I want to see the Drifter take over the game. Drifter, kind of hasn't been the absolute most impactful character in comp play here thus yet. A lot of people wonder whether or not the character is even going to be that good of a comp character in the end, just because a lot of its benefits seem to be more pub stompy. So the fact that it's getting played in competition, I want the magnifying glass on Lord NM. I want to see a Drifter go absolutely wild, if such a thing is possible.
Did Puckett do something with his face or hair? I shaved. Did do that. Went to a barber today, Jake. Look at the fade. You feeling fresh?
Looking clean and fresh, my man.
Oh, and we upgraded the lights. Why? Because you guys donated. Thank you to all the Patreons. With your money, we are leveling up the stream, including paying folks to tap into the API. Shout out to Lotu, who put together all of these numbers. ZP, this isn't fantasy football, so I have no interest in the data beneath me, but you do. So break it down. What excites you?
I mean, when I'm taking a look at this, look at the 11% on the Drifter here as evidence is why it's not getting picked. Also, Victor on the 6% pick ban on the other side. 1 loss for the Drifter, 1 win for the Victor, respectively. We're also, I don't know if that, that's NA stats. In EU, Victor did get absolutely rolled when it was getting played by Buff Endurers. That's why I was saying here, it's like, I don't know if this is the full story, but in NA it is the full story, and neither of these heroes have gotten that much play in North America, and one way or another, one's gonna add a W, one's gonna add a L by the end of the day.
Chat, let us know right now, who do you want to watch, Victor or Drifter? We control the observers. Ask DDK. We're getting into this game as soon as we can. These NA players, they need diapers, or bigger bladders, or less water, or less nerves. I think they're about ready to take the stage. Jake, any advice you'd give to the Baroness Hotel? This is a pickup squad that just beat a reigning champion lineup. They are 1 game away, and there's a Drifter on the other side. How do you abuse this? Just stick together, right?
In theory, yes, but the team fights are going to be a lot scarier this time around. You don't have that Billy plus Abrams, power combo. I do think in this game, I'm wondering whether it's going to be harder to deal with the Drifter snowballing, right? I think in the early game is crucial. Drifter is one of those characters, a little bit of a feast or famine. If you get online, you get some of those like gun buff stacks online, start catching some people off solo, maybe still on their bag in the jungle. You can be such a menace. However, you can just as easily, I feel, fall behind and really wind up in deep trouble. Sort of similar story for Victor. I think wants to be pretty strong, wants to be pretty tanky. And in this game with Shiv, I mean, playing on low HP is going to be scary. I think Viscous definitely needs to be on point, cubing some of these executes out of Shiv.
If you have a Prime and you haven't used it right now, I think our production team just showed you they deserve it. Shout out to our observers. We got Victor on the left, on the right. It is going to be the Drifter. Enjoy. On the mic for this one, you got Jake and ZP. ZP, show is yours.
Yeah, getting into it, we got Hydra Nation in the yellow, Baroness Hotel once more on the blue. Players giving us a little bit of consistency as to the who is who. But, Jake, Victor had a rough time at this little competitive play back when Jumpstart was a much lower cooldown than it is now. Victor got hit with nerfs in the interim, and I'm curious to see if this Victor from Sai can work. I mean, if anyone could make it work, I don't want to be the one to doubt Saya, but I do kind of doubt Victor, just because even when Victor was way more powerful, people could play around him pretty effectively at the comp level.
Let Saya cook, all right? Let Saya cook. I see the vision in this game in particular, right? When you think about the front line, the cores here for Hydra Nation, you've got Geist, you've got Yamato, we've got Shiv, Kelvin, Drifter. Like, it feels like Hydra Nation, this is kind of a straightforward Kelvin draft. Like, lock people down with a Lash LD, get them all in the Thunderdome with Kelvin, and just brawl it out in there. And I feel like there's something to a Victor build that's like all green and a little bit of spirit damage that's just unholy tankiness, you know, ulting and surviving and just lasting long enough where people can come in and bail him out. I'm not sure it's going to happen like that, but I think that's the theory, that's the concept, and I kind of like it. I kind of want to see it succeed here out of Saya. He's proven himself like a very flexible player already.
Take a look at the lanes as they set up here. I mean, mid lane for Baroness Hotel, an old favorite. You got Mirage Viscous, and it's going up against Geist Drifter in middle. Or I don't know what my read is on Geist Drifter. I feel like it's at the disadvantage to Mirage Viscous, though, particularly in mid. Like, that seems like a survive lane coming out from Hydra Nation as opposed to we're going to win the lane.
Love seeing the primes come out here. Big damage coming in. A very scary harassment lane here. Lash and Yamato both with a ton of spirit nuking threat. That being said, a hook in. Ooh, getting under tower is not what you want against Abrams and Bebop. Yamato has to get away out of that one real quick.
Take a look at what's been going on in middle. Actually, we're just shifting all around the map, as is right now. Low main here just, again, out of the way of the charge. And actually, Ido, get a little bit frisky there. Lower HP. That was a little bit dangerous to go that deep at that level of HP. And the hook comes in.
Ooh, but can you
low
HP low? Yeah.
Yeah, like what?
They just don't have enough follow-up, right? And not able to really double down. They do put a lot of damage on the Lash, but Ido's so low. I mean, this is getting scary. John, he's finding the hooks, but the counter pressure is just overwhelming. Hydra Nation not backing off in the slightest, already going to shove another wave under Guardian. Now, this side of the map, though, things are a little bit more comfortable for Saya and Pocket, putting a little bit more active pressure there on the opponent Guardian.
Although, does he go there?
Oh, my box running, man. He's going deep for the boxes.
Yeah, you look at that.
With the 5 gifted. Sig does not feel efficient. It's kind of slow, but well, the wave's been pushed against them, so it's not too big of a deal.
It's interesting. I mean, it's probably, if you time it out, it probably makes sense, but in that case, maybe it wasn't entirely synced up with the wave.
Man, dude is just styling on him here on the Pocket. So mobile. Bomb on Lash. Hold on, Lash in a bit of trouble. Doesn't want to take those poke trades. And that's after he used Vlog. Still very low HP.
Kind of got the more accurate matchup over here on the right-hand side between the Bebop and the Lash. Of course,
Ido's recovered, by the way. He's at 2.6 as well, so he's at completely even.
Yeah, I mean, at this point for Hydra Nation on the right, you kind of have to be really defensive. There's a lot of things that just kind of instantly kill you for low main, but interesting in middle. Viscous dying to this Geist Drifter lane, and you know, the Drifter getting some decent work done, so it would seem.
Yeah, he does a lot of damage there. If he's able to get you with those claws in the melee range, you are in serious trouble. Even someone like Viscous. But Mirage is just that immovable object in the mid lane. A couple denies going against them. So they're going to grab a heal out of the mid lane? Are they just boxing? No, they're going to try and heal back up to full. Still a relatively even early laning stage. No meaningful advantage for either team, I think. Drifter ulti online, but not really what you can do in terms of forcing that early.
Shift Kelvin lane, Hydra Nation, looking to get perhaps a little bit more aggro. I mean, honestly, the Pocket Victor lane holding its own a little bit more than expected versus this so far. The Frogs come out, Affliction dropped. Now, going a little bit deeper here in the AVG. AVG going for the killing blow, just a little bit off target, but closes the distance and gets the quick melee. Right on.
Close. Okay, the heal keeps him up there. Little scary. Drifter grabs the movement buff. I still think Shiv may need to go back to base and maybe just dome him to keep him in the lane. But yeah, Do biting off a bit more than he can chew, even with the Affliction. Oh, and a big catch. Backstab onto Scout is good.
Lord and M making Drifter work here so far. Hydra Nation small lead starting to be had. But you look at the Guardian situation, it's pretty even so far here, Jake. Everyone's Guardians looking reasonably healthy here so far. So in reality, the early game, a few kills here and there, but neither side with a massive advantage here just yet.
Yeah, definitely the game's still very even. Drifter has gone very aggressive with the build, but it's hard to get in aggressively. I feel like if Viscous just plays this one passively, Mirage is one of those laners who can kind of comfortably sit very far back in the lane and don't really have much tower pressure. Oh, you're deep. The backstab is good. That's the way to dive. Talking about getting in.
He almost gets a Viscous.
Yeah, even Scout, he can't really stand and deliver against this, and it does find that kill, so that's actually going to be a stack there, killing the isolated Viscous, but I don't think you're getting out of this one. Maybe? Oh my god, he is.
That's unreal. Lord M is on the redemption tour after getting exposed a little bit by Goober last week. Wait. What?
DMB is back with a vengeance. Grab 2 quick kills in the mid lane.
Just quick 2 little taps and immediate get a little bit of revenge after what looked to be a very stylish Lord M play. I mean, it still was stylish, just the final result. Yeah, you lose some points for that.
Yeah, Dome's been used here, and they weren't able to get any kills off. I wonder if Pocket played his way out of that one. Victor does still have ulti, so he doesn't care necessarily too much taking an execute, and that's Majestic Leap online for Pocket. Do grabs a couple of stacks. So you're gonna go for the Affliction. Looks like the Cape got caught in an unfortunate scenario, but they're still struggling to dive in deep. That's a big dagger found by Shiv, though. It's gonna be very annoying as Pocket would love to just heal up. Can't quite do it just yet.
Also, I mean, does Lord M have 3 stacks right now? He just took down DMB in the jungle a moment ago, so
you know, a Drifter snowball.
It's scary.
Oh my god, where does HP go?
He just absolutely pummeled. Bit off more than Jew into the Abrams and ends up falling. John able to finish off. Now Hyper Beam coming on out, and the Guardian the main target here.
The anti-aircraft cannon. Hold on, even Yamato, no safety, no quarter being given. Tower getting low. Bebop's a little deep, but yeah, I think this has to be that tower going down here in the side lane, and that frees up Bebop to roam and get active. So it's kind of Lord M versus John right now. 2 snowball heroes, both freed up to get active in the early game. But it's Lord M who still has to stay mid and keep putting that pressure on. I wonder if there's not going to be a big rotation. Oh, stealing this camp is a very nice find here from the side lane.
I mean, rotation would be nice just to free up Lord M to do a little bit more roaming here on the Drifter, but for now, may just be content getting in here. Another tip for efficient farming, just, you know, getting your melee in on both creeps there. Creep wave, though, coming up to the Guardian, so decides to leave the vault alone, at least until this is dealt with.
Yeah, I feel like this is not really where you want to be on Drifter, right? You kind of want to be roaming and maybe finding some more kills. Defending this lane isn't the best. Shocking Reanimation forced out, but Shiv, Kelvin, I'm not sure they can stand toe-to-toe, and okay, Hydration jukes out of it for now. He's so incredibly low. Shiv, do you want that smoke? Are you sure? I'm not sure about that. It was pretty close on the execute threshold. And the snowball misses, man. If Victor gets out of this, he is going to be sitting pretty, and I think he's just gone. Comfortably safe. Pocket denies any sort of kill chase there from Hydration, and you're going to be back to full in no time on Victor.
You know, this game has been many things, but you can't accuse it of being boring here so far. The action has been fast and furious. DMB. You look at the bear of Lord M that time. Death Slam coming in from low lane, trying to even the score, but for the most part just needs to leave. Not something can easily follow up on.
Man, that double kill fed to DMB is getting really painful right now. He's leading the game, and this is that hero who can beat anywhere all at once. Mid Guardian almost certainly going down here. Kind of a weak flog out of Lash. And I think he's dead. Yeah, he's caught. Even had the stacks. Ido snuck in, got on top of him. And the Baroness Hotel, they're wasting no time in just snowballing this game, getting active, keeping that pace hot. Express shot online for Viscous, and so he's going to be super annoying. This is sort of a light power peak there early in the game, and man, just doing tricks on it on Pocket right now.
Also, I mean, look at the game state here at the moment. 2 Guardians down for Hydra Nation, all 3 Guardians still up for Baroness Hotel. And this is a pretty significant advantage as the clock is about to strike 10. Mid buff's coming on up. Baroness Hotel swarmed over the left buff. Might have gotten the right buff too. Couldn't really, didn't really see on the minimap. I was looking at the left. But now, immediately aftermath here, AVG gets caught.
Ido on a 3 kill streak here. Earn pickup. Should be easy if Viscous does want it. And yeah, Drifter getting just absolutely bullied. Kelvin coming in, stepping toe-to-toe, but the punch is good, forces Kelvin back. Drifter still wants to fight this one, maybe with the dome mid, but already the affliction is good enough, and they don't even want that fight even inside the dome. Just Baroness Hotel overwhelming, continuing to bring numbers, and it's going to be 3 Guardians to 0. ZP, this is game point. I mean, Hydra Nation on the verge of being eliminated. This could be one of the first times we see a Pug team crashing in and taking down a team that has won, what, how many times in Night Shift already?
It's ridiculous. I mean, it has been a rough 2 weeks for Hydra Nation, but this would be the ultimate, the hook on top of it. John, not letting low main escape everything, going right for the Baroness Hotel. And this has been a ridiculous run. And yeah, I mean, if you're Hydra Nation, with this amount of lead, I mean, you're closing in on a 15, nearly 20K soul difference. This is a type of lead that you might not come back from.
Yeah, this is scary. A lot of cult stacks also being built there for the Baroness Hotel, right? So they have scaling potential. And I mean, the lead is so big, it's a favorable earn turn in, which at this point should be free. But remember, this is first turn of the game. This is 3K souls. It's not really worth that much, especially when you're being pressured all across the map. You need to find kills. That's how you really make this comeback work. But so much easier said than done. This is also how you fall further and further behind, taking fights against a Baroness Hotel that will not give anything up for free.
Also, you're playing heroes like Drifter that kind of like to be ahead and stay ahead. And, you know, if you fall too far behind, you disproportionately have less impact. Guardian, though?
Guardian got a tower, but I mean, 4 stacks. Yeah, he's dead. Bye-bye. DMB also on a 4 streak, 12K. So much on Leffa right here, but Leffa getting caught. You don't want that. He's already used the swap. Doesn't have any way to play his way out of this, but the support is there. Okay, Shiv Yamato coming in, bailing him out of trouble. Viscous now.
It's a low HP goo ball. Moving on in a little bit more extra malice. However, here comes John. The hook over the bomb. Leffa take it down. John coming in like a wrecking ball. Is he gonna get the other here? Shiv
he's dead.
Looking low, and yeah, the bloodletting taking its toll. Great rotation from John to keep things in a good spot here for the Baroness Hotel.
Drifter threatening there on the side lane, though. So I think these types of trades, I mean, I think this is actually good for Hydra Nation. Just is it good enough? Hook in, good, onto the Yamato. The pin follow-up is beautiful. And Yamato, no ulti, right? Just has to play her way out of this. They do have the Kelvin Dome. It's gonna maybe be necessary to use. Okay, holding on for the moment and a pause at what a fortuitous moment. Seems like Hydra Nation can play their way out of this. I mean, Hydration just really doesn't want to waste the dome. And honestly, that DC from Ido might actually be what saves Rokane.
You get a little bit of time to think as you look over there and see the beam that was very quickly about to turn Yamato into soup. But man, I mean, okay, getting the earn on their side actually did help catch Hydra Nation up a little bit more and a few kills, even with John able to get 1 or 2 in return. Being behind, Hydra Nation got a little bit more off of that. Also, a little bit more laden souls than that for Hydra Nation if they're able to get those final 2 Guardians down. But a tough start for Hydra Nation. And they're running a comp here, Jake, too, that I look at this Hydra Nation comp, and if they were to lose another fight, they don't really have a ton of comeback heroes here. I mean, okay, you have maybe a Death Slam as your option here, but generally speaking, Hydra Nation, they're a comp that needs to be even or ahead to actually function.
Yeah, maybe the Kelvin Dome is like one of the ways I could see some playmaking. Hold on, John getting potentially caught, but okay, maybe you bit off more than you can chew. Abrams willing to take that 1v1 even against the Drifter. A lot of numbers being deployed in the mid lane. So far, a 1-for-1. Kelvin Dome blocks that slam. But who's holding his own there in the dome? It's Sai. He hasn't even lost the first life. Still holding on to that reanimation.
Man, oh man, 9K up now. Baroness Hotel, I think a little bit too early to going for mid boss, but you see the chase down. Up and over, gonna see Lomane getting out of there. Jump pad action in from Ido.
Warpstone Abrams on the hunt. Lash is still around. Yeah, maybe don't want to go that deep in the walker. Instant dive, no fear taking that fight to Geist. Geist doesn't have ulti. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure you're gonna be able to hold on to this. The Sinners, that sub-objective, but there's numbers here for the Baroness Hotel, and they're gonna be able to secure. Grab that Sinners for Ido and get the full buff. He's even safe enough to get the full secure.
That's a strong lust from Ido for the gambling. There he just is like, get off my slot machine. It's mine. Also, Lord and M kind of being Mr. Objective Man here on the Drifter. Got the first Guardian down for Hydra Nation. Went out of the way to rotate the middle. And from all accounts here, Jake, next stop for Lord and M may just be here on the left.
That being said, easier said than done when you've got a Saya with the shocking reanimation, willing to take any kind of a fight here. Pocket as well. I'm not even sure you can approach that left side Guardian without being attacked, being assaulted. On the other side of the map is not much easier. You got DMB harassing you from range and John looking for hooks. Tornado forced out. Lash does have ulti though. Is he going to get that catch? Doesn't get the slam. They do find the catch, and that's quite a farmed DMB, a big pickoff for Hydra Nation to find.
Yeah, I think for Hydra Nation, this is where the comeback could be a thing. Now within 9K. An urn going to be for the taking here. If the urn is grabbed now, it's going to be a neutral urn. Gun buff off to the right. Or it looks like, I think they gave it to Letha from the looks of it.
John's watching this. Oh, it's a favorable urn. What? Oh, you're not getting it so easy, though. Bebop on the case. Damage on the Lash. Should be out of that one. Yeah, the ground slam. Pulls her up. Oh, no, I know. You thought you were free. You thought you were safe.
You know, the Ido Abrams arc also checks out. Ido's also had the Abrams grind where, you know, I remember the first few times it got played in comp for Ido, it did look great, but Ido eventually made it one of his better heroes.
Shelter really you're still afflicted. I mean, Shiv's dying. Shiv's afflicted. He's ticking down. The bloodletting, I think, has got the kill there.
That's wild. The Shiv Kelvin, not quite looking as good as it normally is, but Hydra Nation, they're able to get the urn, and the urns have been keeping them in the game here, Jake, even as they've been losing objectives, like the Walker there. Drifter, 200 HP, and not in a good spot whatsoever.
Yamato has the ulti. Lash does hit the connection. DMB, do they have the follow-up damage here? Yeah, no tornado looks like left. Big slam from Abrams. Onto that Yamato, but is he 1v2 now? Ido, yeah, gonna be maybe a little bit too scared to stick around, but hey, all right, he's willing to continue to take these trades. Has that heavy melee as he's using the mobility to his advantage, but escaping Lash feels unlikely and making a lot of time though. However, Hydra Nation seemed to be taking a nice trade on the other side of the map.
Ido tried to go every movement trick possible. Warp stone, melee, wall bounce, 500 HP. How much longer can Ido survive?
DMB's
Traveler coming on in. Traveler over the buy, a little bit more room. Does Ido survive with the aid of Mirage? It's looking like the answer may be yes. Ido's still running, but you look at the mini map with the assistance of the Traveler. DMB secures safe passage for Ido.
Insane jukes from Ido to live long enough for DMB to ult in. Do was caught elsewhere across the map, and maybe this is going to be finally that third Guardian clear at Hydra Nation. Shiv taking a lot of damage here. Viscous adding to that pressure. Parried one of them. Okay, Shiv's just going to die for this, and he's not even going to get it.
Are we playing a fighting game? I was just seeing AVG just juggled, never hit the ground towards the very end. The Guardian's needed here, Jake, too. I mean, you think about how deep we are into the game at 18 minutes. You need the item slot. It's non-negotiable. Someone from Hydra Nation is going to have to go and be the sacrifice. They thought it was going to be AVG, but now they need to add one more.
Oh, stealing doubles is big. John's doing the Baroness doubles, and okay, Lord of M, he knows he has to contest this, but you know, it's not enough to just walk in. This is Victor. He's going to go back and maybe keep doing the doubles. This guy has shocking reanimation. He wants to take the fight.
I mean, look, when you're a living undead monstrosity, gambling at the center sacrifice is one of the only joys in life you may have, Jake. That's what I'm learning watching Saya.
I mean, he's getting the winners, man. Winner, chicken dinner. Lash walking up, looking for something in the mid lane. Hydra Nation maybe saying, hey, want to take a gamble on a team fight here. Feel like maybe they do have the edge if they can actually bring everyone together, create some player advantage in the Kelvin Dome. The Baroness Hotel, they've been getting a lot of pickoffs, but the lead has still been quite manageable. However, that being said, the pickoffs continue. The beatings will continue until morale improves.
Victor, Main kind of looks towards Victor's direction and just kind of says, nah, not actually what I want to go for here. However, the death slam onto the Viscous may be way more tenable. 10 HP and gone. Enough burst damage to be had there, but looking elsewhere. John in the middle, burning down hydration. The trades across the map, much favoring Baroness Hotel, and okay, is it mid-boss time? There's enough dead on the map. They're going into the middle. This could be huge. Dude takes down Low Main. The gap continues to widen here. And Leffa, maybe one of the only farm people on the team. Leffa right now, getting it from both ends here as you got the Pocket and Victor taking the 2-on-1. And this may be time here. You got the tech with Drifter. You can mark the rejuve.
Oh,
Eternal
DMB
Knight.
found him. He's tornadoed. He comes in, does get a parry, but okay, the instant follow-up there is good from Abrams, and the fight is way too strong from Baroness Hotel. Yes, the rejuve is a decent steal, but you have no chance of standing toe-to-toe. Way too strong right now are the Baroness Hotel, and our Pug team on a 20k zone lead, looking to grow even further. Drifter, such a fast hero, though. Maybe he's going to be able to play his way out of this one. Remember, he does have that Veil Walker.
It's back up, too. Also, very heads-up play by DMB, where Lord NM, I mean, Drifter's one of the heroes that does have, like, sneakier ways of, you know, messing with rejuve, and, yeah, it's difficult to do that if you get intercepted before you're able to get the mark onto the crystal, so no, you know, sudden appearance, parry, and full steal. They really get a small piece of it, but, you know, Hydra Nation even further behind now, Jake.
Yeah, and I mean, the Infuser probably next on the cards here for Saya. He's going to become even more unkillable. And, you know, I feel like some of the carry Victor builds seem pretty bad. I don't think they really work anymore, especially after the nerfs. I do feel like there's room for this like pure tank Victor, where you don't need to deal that much damage. Your pass, or your third skill rather, not quite a pass, it basically does all the damage you really need. And the value of being able to tank through something like a Frozen Shelter, or, you know, even be killed by Shiv or Lash, and yet still be able to come into the team fight off that reanimation, I think could just be enough, right? There's a lot of damage on the rest of this squad. Do on the Pocket, he's got Spirit Burn, so I kind of want to see how Pocket plays this team fight.
Death Slam coming on in. Melee gonna force the Urn drop. We're all into it here. Frozen Shelter out here early for Hydra Nation, looking for the first pick to try and turn this against Baroness Hotel. Lord and M, though, focus down and out. Ido with the big hit. 3 down in favor of Baroness Hotel, and the Urn is gonna go their way too. And this is looking more and more Baroness Hotel favored. Could it be a 2-0 against the longtime NA champions, Jake? We may be in that world.
I think so, ZV. They still held on to that last rejuve charge crucially, right? So a lot of them still have this incredibly powerful buff online. And you're creating so many macro problems, right? All waves crashing on you. John is the only one low enough to be forced back to base. Saya is going to get one set of base guardians. Lash is making it a little bit scary. You don't quite have that reanimation for Saya. You got to be a little careful, but Lash, his damage is a little bit predictable at the same time, right? Oh, and he's dead. DMB just burned it out. What the hell?
That's a powerful mark right there. That's the power of the Jhin, as it turns out.
And the Jhin is granting wishes today, man. If you wish for death, you shall receive. And an E shift. Oh, that's gross, man. How do you ever... Okay, so this is actually a nasty build. Like, this victory is going to full int into your entire team, and what do you do about it?
Well, if you target him, even if you kill the Victor, you're probably going to lose the fight because he's drawn all this attention as the ultimate tank. It's not trying to be a carry. It's just trying to be the biggest distraction in the world that you also can't really ignore.
We got to get on the Do cam for the next major team fight, by the way, because, yeah, like, you know, Saya's going to get a lot of the scouting done, create a lot of the information, but Do is, if they're the Anvil man, Do is the hammer. This guy is super farmed on Pocket right now. He's got the Spirit Burn online, and if you're hitting an Affliction on like 4 or 5 players, it feels like this game is just done. The Soul Lead here getting insurmountable very, very soon, and I feel like there's no lockdown for Pocket. It's like a Lash ult, but I mean, good luck hitting a Pocket with a Lash ult in the best of times. And in a game like this, where the Baroness Hotel are always going to have the vision advantage with these heavy tanks initiating first, I think this is just Do playing player versus enemy, man. Like, he's just going to do whatever he wants and just pop this entire team from Hydra Nation in the next main team fight.
Also, I mean, Jake, you look at the difference in souls here. What in the world is the win condition for Hydra Nation here? I'm doing the equations in my head. I can't figure it out. I mean, it's the difference between the two teams in just damage. Even if you get a clean pickoff, the rest of Baroness Hotel, they're going to be able to win 5 on 6. I mean, for Hydra Nation, this one is about as packed up, I feel like, as it gets.
Yeah, man, this is Ido's revenge for all those weeks of the like instant Pocket first bans. Ido has been in the lab, he's been cooking, and now he's back with a vengeance. Great game on Abrams from him as well. Kind of can't say enough about the praises for this Baroness Hotel team. They deserve this win, man, and it feels like there's just not much hope. They're playing it really safe, which I think is a mark of respect for Hydra Nation, right? An experienced team. If they pull off one really clean team fight, maybe you do a massive overextension as the Baroness Hotel, you could find yourself in a bit of trouble. But they're not doing that. They're going to wait for these key objectives, fight around Urns, fight around mid-boss. But honestly, Sai is calling, I'm diving fountain, man. Like, this guy is unkillable.
Death Slam, no connection.
Oh, I don't think you want to commit here.
Yeah, E-Shift gets him out of the Death Slam opportunity. Hydra Nation, what could be their last opportunity to get something going, and it's going on the Victor of all people.
He's so tanky. He's like half HP is an illusion here.
Lord and M down, first to fall. Saya, by the way, still alive despite the focus fire. Frozen Shelter in here for hydration. Hydra Nation looking for a miracle, but all they find instead is the nightmare. Rokane gonna shout transform, surrounded by foes on all sides. Nothing is gonna happen from there. At the Baroness Hotel, it's a clean sweep at Hydra Nation's expense. And Jake, I gotta tell a story here. I woke up today in DMs of telling Baroness Hotel, hey, you guys need to figure out a sixth. And they were like, I think waffling between getting Dew or Deathy. Like they weren't really sure who their sixth was gonna be. And I guess grabbing Dew has worked out well for them.
It looks good, man. The guy's been on a heater. He's been on a heater all night, and it's going to continue. They're about to cash in. They're about to win this $1,000 in our night shift presented by Intel, man. Like, this is easy money for the Baroness Hotel. These guys hopped on and said, well, whatever, we'll help him play the tournament. And now they're about to beat Hydra Nation, the team that no one could topple for months on end here in North America.
I mean, this is wild. Also, Jake, this is a pickup team, but no one signed in NA. It's real easy for a pickup team to become the permanent team when you get a result like this.
Yeah, and they're just doing it by the book, man. The 60K soul lead, 100K soul lead challenge. And mid-boss, 20 seconds to the spawn. This is a moment when I feel like you almost can't go wrong here for the Baroness Hotel. And I don't even know, like, does Rokane gonna have ult for the mid-boss? I'm not sure. It's gonna be pretty close. It's gonna be an attempt from Hydra Nation. They know the desperate scenario they're in. The Baroness Hotel is just kiting them, and the macro is looking terrible. Wave's gonna be crashing on the Hydra Nation base. You can't really push out on the map right now.
Hydra Nation, what sort of deity they would have to go to win this one? I'm not sure. I don't think even the patron's power is going to be enough.
We need 666 subs for Hydra Nation to be winning this one.
We already went.
We need like another
number.
Fresh 666. They're looking for some kind of pickoff around the mid boss, but Baroness Hotel are playing this so intelligent and patient. They don't need to force anything. Dude's gonna be the one to scout things out. Oh, let's see the affliction.
Affliction goes in. Got Q.
Good enough.
Got
two is good.
Good two. That's plenty. You get down hydration, Lord and M immediately. The rest of Baroness Hotel absolutely healthy. 4 down. And it's a massacre in the sewers. Hydra Nation, the heads cut cleanly off. Not gonna regenerate from this one now, Jake.
The Hydra is felled, and the Baroness Hotel have only to come in and collect their win and their $1,000. Huge performances from this Pug team, right? You know, a bunch of people appreciate them coming together and putting on a show, showing that Deadlock is anybody's game, man. This game is young, and it's up for grabs, and the Baroness Hotel are going to cash in this week. The Kings of North America. I just want to know, will they be back next week to defend their crown? I hope so.
DMB cashing in back-to-back weeks, and he brings 5 new friends with him. Scout, John, Saya, Ido, and Dew get the job done for the Baroness Hotel. ZP, are we nervous about Hydra Nation falling, or are we excited that more competition is arising in NA?
I mean, look, I'm excited for the competition. That being said, if I were to wonder if the Hydra Nation roster is going to stay stable, I would be shocked if they just ran it back with the same 6 because, look, it's a roster that often changes when they face adversity. And there's no greater adversity moment for a team than getting rocked by the pickup team. Admittedly, a very talented pickup team, arguably a super team, but a pickup team nonetheless just came in and 2-0'd the oftentimes most decorated team in NA.
We were excited about the Drifter versus Victor showdown. Lord NM for Hydra Nation on the Drifter. On the other side, the Victor play was something that I think everyone was pumped for, especially towards the end. Saya just built like the regenerating monster that he is.
Yeah, great performances on the Victor. I think I feel like the Victor, we were questioning it, and even at the start of the game, I was like, well, there's like sort of this world where you just become unkillable, and maybe Geist and Shiv and Yamato just can't deal with you, and he just outlasts you in the fights. And I wasn't sure we'd get there, but we did. I mean, great performances across the board though to reach this point. Like DMB clutching out in the early game, right, getting some key counter kills where it felt like maybe that mid lane could have gotten out of control. Also want to highlight John finding a ton of key pickoffs with these opening hooks. And also Ido, man, just there when the team needed him time after time on the Abrams, no less.
The pocket was the expectation from chat. Game 1 doesn't pull that out. Instead, lights things up on the doorman. Game 2, it's the Abrams. A 2-0 sweep over Hydra Nation, and Ido claiming, I don't want to join a team. I just want to stream, bro. If he's this good, shouldn't he play with these guys more, Jake?
I mean, heck, don't make a team, don't scrim, just turn up and win $1,000, man. Like, stream while you do it. Like, we don't care. You can stream your game. Like, go for it.
And CP, as we take a look at some of the final highlights, what did you see endgame?
I mean, I saw a team that was just having an immense amount of fun towards the very end. They played the victor that could not die. Ido was half Abrams, half horror game with all the jump scares that we got from Ido in this particular game. And look, I do think there's something to be said for a team coming in here, and they were playing with the house money from the get-go, Puckett. No, there was no pressure on the Baroness Hotel to say, you guys got to win. It was just some of the best players in North America, throw them together, shake it up a little bit, and suddenly the heads of the Hydra get severed.
Here's a look at some of the numbers. Jake, walk me through it for those on mobile.
So Do on the pocket, huge stat of the game here, in particular, like top souls, top damage, and top objective damage, which is more surprising, I think, on pocket. So big games from Do on the pocket today, really, really solid. I also feel like Ido, 9-1 and 18, right? One death on Abrams, that's deceptively hard to do, right? Abrams might be tanky, but often I feel like you get in, you start the fight, and if things go wrong, you don't have a backup plan on Abrams. It's kill or be killed, and Ido was just killing.
Incredible stuff from Baroness Hotel, the pickup squad that wins by 70,000 souls. And you can see nearly 30 kill difference in the final game of action. ZP, it's been a crazy 2 weeks. 3 weeks ago, we had some new characters dropped on us. They are evolved in EU. NA, seeming like they're starting to catch up, finally pulling out some new stuff in a final tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, we said at the beginning, okay, got the Drifter versus Victor. One of these heroes is going to get the W, one's going to get the loss. Honestly, I thought it was going to be the Victor, but we saw a different take on how to build Victor. It was really good at drawing a whole lot of attention, and, you know, Lord M, to his credit, had a few nice moments on the Drifter, but I think the problem for Hydra Nation is that they fell so far behind the macro. I mean, you look at what the Guardians, they lost Guardians way before they were able to get some of their own. Lord M was just basically having to go and, you know, scavenge for Guardians in the late game long after Baroness Hotel had already gotten all three, and, you know, off the early game performance, Hydra Nation, they had 1 foot in the grave and they could never take it out.
Hydra Nation dealt back-to-back losses after winning 4 straight weeks here on the night shift. It's getting fun in NA, and we have a new MVP to go with our new champions. Who is it tonight? Ido, the doorman play, earns love from the chat and apparently our staff. Let's take a look at some of the best highlights from games 1 and 2. Was the doorman or the Abrams more impressive tonight, Jake?
I feel like the doorman was definitely the flashier of the two, and maybe even the more impactful. When it came to like this game 1, I feel like there was a lot riding on this mentally for these players, right? For Hydra Nation, who feel like, okay, they're the favorite team, they're supposed to win, and then Ido starts keep making plays on you, things are getting crazy with the doorman, the fights aren't going how you expect, and I mean, pretty soon you're staring down the barrel of a loss, and I feel like Ido was a key part of that. So it's not every day that we see a top streamer also perform here in competitive play, but Ido delivered for us.
ZP, walk me through the Abrams highlights.
I mean, the Abrams highlights, part of being a good Abrams player is knowing where you need to be, and the game sense from Ido is something that only gets honed when you stream this game 1,000,000 hours a day. I mean, we got jump scared and we could see everything from an observer point of view. How do you think Hydra Nation felt with Ido just being right place, right time, and Abrams charging at you, and a vicious finish on the after? I mean, Ido was all over the place in the very best of ways, whether it be on the Abrams or on the doorman. And I mean, what more can you say? A very well-earned MVP.
We have a very special guest, Scout, going to be joining us here in a moment. Chat, if you have questions for Scout, go ahead and drop them. We'll ask them there. And of course, if you're a Patreon or sub or a member over on YouTube, you can join us for the Graveyard Shift, where Ido the streamer will be joining us, and you can help bully him into becoming a pro player on one of our pro teams. It's been fun so far, guys. Final thoughts on this matchup, Jake. I know it's a lot shorter than we expected.
Look, I didn't think Hydra Nation was going to go down, much less to a pug team, but clearly this is a new moment in NA Deadlock. You know, the old kings are dead, long live the king. Let's see what these guys got. I mean, whether it's DMB, the commonality of these two teams, or just a lot of the new names we've been seeing come out on top here in Night Shift North America. I feel like this is a very exciting moment for NA Deadlock, where it was Hydra Nation just running the table for so long. I, for one, I'm ready for some new win or some new champion.
I like that. And ZP, for anyone who hasn't been to a graveyard shift, how do they get access to it? Where should they go to find this Discord link?
Well, once you are either with us on the Patreon or a YouTube sub or a Twitch sub, you just got to go to our official Discord and the bot should be giving you access. Go to the Graveyard Shift channel under the Patreon channels and just hang out. You can ask questions live to any of us here as talent or our guest that's there. We'll, anything you want, we will put it down. And it's always a good time for whoever shows up.
All right, Solomon, when you're ready, bring Scout on up. I want to chat with our winners tonight, and Scout has arrived. Scout, congrats on the win. How do you feel?
Thank you. Feels good. Feels a bit crazy, but unexpected, but it was fun. It was a great time.
Can you walk me through the creation of this squad? Because we heard the story from ZP's side, but I want to hear from a player who participated in this mess.
So I was told by Sai, you're playing in DNS, and I was like, okay. And that's all I knew for like a couple days. And then I think like yesterday we got the final roster. I was like, all right, let's run it.
All right, so Sai making the calls, putting things together. Jake, your turn.
Yeah, so you guys came into this probably with low expectations, right? Thinking like, hey, whatever, we'll play, we'll see what happens. Talk me through when the team started to realize, like, okay, this can really be done. Like maybe even before you win game one, you guys are maybe starting to get a lead against Hydra Nation. Did the mood kind of shift? Were people maybe like stepping up how serious they were getting, or how was that trend through the game?
I mean, going into it, you know, like we all know, like we're all, you know, really good players or whatever, but obviously we're the underdogs or whatever. But so we knew, like, you know, we might win this, but yeah, you know, it's gonna be tough. I would say, like, after winning game one like that decisively, like me personally, I was like, you know, holy crap, we can actually like win this whole thing, and then took it home, you know.
Yeah, my question here, and obviously this got thrown together last minute, just, you know, from whatever on an analytical side you can apply to this here, you guys didn't come in here with any scrims. You guys didn't come in here with like a broad overarching plan. Was this entire series just kind of the, you know, testament to the power of people just picking stuff they're comfortable on over, you know, adhering to the meta? I mean, in a way, it just felt like, oh yeah, people are just picking, you know, the things they're good at, and it just seemingly worked.
Yeah, I think you're definitely right. You know, obviously the meta and what's strong at the current moment is like really important, but you know, individual skill and like just like instinct and talent also plays a big factor. You know, like I think Ido played super well on like the surprise doorman, and Do, obviously that guy's the best pocket in the world. You know,
was there fight over pocket tonight, Scout? Or were you guys all like, oh, it's definitely going to Do?
So we just let Saya do all the drafting. We just listened to him. There was a time where we didn't know who was going to play it, but as like the draft went forward, it's like, all right, dude, you're going to play it. But no, we just listened to Saya.
Saya earns all of the MVP honors for the IGL work tonight. Jake, final questions for Scout. Let's wrap it up. Let him go enjoy his win.
Yeah, I'm just curious, you know, I'd like to take a step back maybe from the tournament and just think about like Deadlock as a whole right now. Like, how do you feel about the state of the game? Like after, you know, the game's been totally shaken up with all these new heroes and now things are maybe settling just a little bit. And just how do you feel about the game right now, whether it's ranked or just the new heroes, competitive, whatever you want to say, how you feeling?
I think from here, the game can only go up, you know, like, I think Yoshi, as much as we like to hate on, you know, what they're doing as a community, I think he's doing like a good job of like, you know, putting the game together, releasing new content. And, you know, we have a lot of like other really big streamers coming back to the game, and you know, obviously there's things that they can fix with like MM, for example, you know, but I think that game can only go up from here.
Game on. Scout, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations, $1,000 earned by a team that didn't exist 2 days ago. It's wild.
Thank you guys. It was fun.
That is Scout. You can go check out his Twitch channel. You can check him out on next week's show as well, because Baroness Hotel will be invited back to defend their title. Jake, we could see 3 brand new teams next week, or we could see some returning champions. Anything you want to see comp-wise, though, as we get into night shift number 7?
Oh, I can't ask for more, man. I'm so satisfied we're getting Doorman seeing play. I think every single new character saw play tonight, and a lot of new builds were shown. I mean, this is what it's all about here on the night shift, right? Seeing the best players, the best teams in Deadlock, and just shaking it up. So I think I'm super satisfied with this week. I can't ask for more. If it's as good, if the next night shift is as fun and as interesting as this one, I'll be totally happy.
We had 7 games tonight, and you saw Abrams picked in all of them. 6 first-round picks, as he seemed to be the player to be. ZP, any other takeaways from our hero priority list?
Yeah, I mean, as I take a look at here, I think the biggest winner of the day, even relative to last week, Mina is on the up and up. People have realized her power, and for good reason. I think, not only is she an incredible lane bully, but her ability to dictate macro play is out of this world. Billy, of course, still super high. On the low end, it's kind of interesting things that have fallen. Obviously, we know Vindicta was gone because of nerfs. Wraith went absolutely to the bottom, and Furnace, still isn't climbing on out. And, the priority of Holiday, she'll get picked every now and then, but still not the highest. And, kind of the same with Warden. So this was probably one of the more interesting shifts we've had in terms of not only those who went up, but those who went down at the same time.
It was a fantastic evening. We want to thank everyone who supported the stream. If you watched, thanks for being here. If you chatted, we appreciate your input. If you subscribed, we love you, and we appreciate you putting money in our bank accounts. Final thoughts as we wrap up night shift number 6. Jake, what do you take away from this evening?
We thank the community. We couldn't do it. Seriously, we could not do it without the community support that we get on these streams. We're hoping to keep this running for a long time, but we also couldn't do it without our wonderful partner, Intel. They're putting up the prize money here for quite a while on Deadlock Night Shift, and it means a ton to us. So go show Intel some love. It really does help us out and helps us continue to do what we do. Just awesome to see all the excitement coming in, and ton of viewers, ton of new viewers in on Twitch, on YouTube, on all the different streaming platforms. So just stoked, man. Just happy to be here and grateful.
Congratulations to our winners tonight. We had the Abrahams taking home EU to make it a 3-3 tie with the Buff Enjoyers at the very top of Europe. And then, of course, in North America, a brand new champion. After the Sneaky Golems get a 2-0, Hydra Nation now on a 4-game slide as they fall to a pickup squad known as the Baroness Hotel. As we say goodnight, reminder, we are live every single Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern. That's around 10 or 11 wherever you're at in Europe. If you're on the Pacific Coast, well, you'll be finishing up lunch while ZP delivers you the best commentary this game can offer. It's Deadlock. It's Night Shift. Hit the follow on your way out. We'll see you next time.
Destination.